Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Have you ever been fat-shamed before? I have. Today we're going to be taking a look at various fat-shaming stories. In fact, I might even make this a series because we have various answers to this question.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat-shamed.
Let's waste no time and dive right in with the applying of comb to mustache.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat-shamed.
It was my birthday, and a lot of traumatic things happened on my birthday. And we went to a club, and we had bottle service, we met some cool people, everything was great. Now, after the club was closed...
Oh, this is the person that does a jump cut every 2 seconds. They can't film a scene with more than 3 words without having to cut and then splice in the next statement.
We all left, and these guys were still waiting in line.
Alright, so I'm going to tell you the story of that one time. When I went out to the club, all these guys were staring at me. I didn't know what to do. I was flabbergasted.
Obviously, see a fat woman in the club, let alone with bottle service, and they didn't even get in. So
they didn't even get in, but they saw you in the club with bottle service? Oh my goodness, they must have been gobsmacked. They must have been taken aback. Boulder Dash, they must have exclaimed. This is a bunch of poppycock, I'm sure they said. Sorry, I'll stop with all the old-timey crap.
I tripped. They decided to take pics of that. And I didn't even see it. My friend did.
Oh, okay, so you tripped, and then they decided to take pics of that. How long did this trip last? How were they able to get pictures of you tripping? That's a very quick event, isn't it? You trip, oh crap, you fall over, and then you get back up, brush yourself off, and carry on. They just had their phones waiting, aimed at you like, yo, this chick is gonna trip any moment now, and I'm gonna catch it on film, son. Or did you trip and it took like 10 minutes to get back up? So they had time to get their phones out. They're like, yo, this chick's been laying on the ground for like 10 minutes, dog. I guess I'll film this.
I didn't even see it. My friend did. My friend goes up to them screaming, and they refused. They denied it. They were smirking, and you know that smirk? You just know that's guilty.
That smirk that you just know is guilty. I hope that's not the kind of evidence you're always using against people. Like, I could see the look on your face, man. I know what you were up to. Because that's starting to sound like crazy talk. Paranoid, crazy talk.
So then my friends, plus the people we met at the club, full on start rioting with them. They're still not giving it up.
Okay, so you're at the club, you trip, some dudes take a picture of it, or so you think, and your friends go to them and start rioting. What does that mean? You start assaulting these men and be like, give me that phone, I knew you took a picture of me, I know you took a picture of me. And they're just like, what the hell, what is this chick doing?
They're still not giving it up. I swear we were gonna rise at dawn. And then I see this mounted police. I start telling him what happened.
You saw the mounted police and you started telling them what happened. All right, so you're Canadian. You're up there in Canada where things are always popping off.
As soon as they saw me talking to that mounted police, they ran away.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Is it against the law to take a picture of somebody in Canada or something? What do you mean they ran away? And wouldn't that just make them look guilty to the mounted police and then he would go pursue them? You go to talk to the cops, you're like, yeah, those guys over there. And then they're all like, oh crap, she's talking to the cops. And then they start running as if the cops wouldn't chase them. I don't know what the cops are like up there in Canada. But if somebody goes and reports you to the cops here, and then you start running away, the cops will pursue you. They will see that as an act of guilt. They'll be like, whoa, I didn't know if you were guilty or not, but then you started running, and now I do know that you're guilty. The cops just sat there like, man, I wish there was something we could have done. And you're like, go get him. Yeah, this really happened, huh?
It's wild to me how triggered people get over fat people existing.
What? That's what you got from that? You tripped. They took pictures of you, according to your own story. You told the cops on them, and then as soon as they saw you talking to the cops, they're like, ooh, and then they ran. And the cops did not pursue them for some reason, which is weird. Probably because it's not illegal to look at somebody and you didn't prove that they took photos of you or anything. So, like, what were they doing really that was against the law? But also, none of this clearly happened. We can all agree on that, I think. Next.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat-shamed.
Before a few weeks ago, I probably would have said the time that the opera director I had in grad school was ordering me a new costume that was slightly too small, so she asked me to lose 10 pounds.
And that's being fat-shamed. Asking you to lose weight to fit into the clothing that is required for the role is fat shaming. Okay. So is it skinny shaming when Brendan Fraser had to gain weight for that whale movie? I'm guessing so, right? I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
But a few weeks ago, I got a referral to see a gynecologist for...
Uh-oh. Fat shaming is always going down at the gynecologist, isn't it? They're like, your legs are too big to even fit in these stirrups. See, I clearly don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what you guys do in there.
Some of the issues I've been dealing with, like pain and lots of things that are another story. I took the first appointment available with a gynecologist, and apparently that was a mistake.
Yeah, it was. You should have taken the last available appointment, I suppose.
The first thing she did when she walked in...
she slapped that beanie off your head, and she's like, lose weight. And you're like, what? I'm here to get a gynecological exam. She's like, I said lose weight. I don't even need to look at your innards to know that. Or whatever. Oh, I'm going off the rails.
Was to ask me if I had a weight management plan.
Oh, that's funny. If that's really what happened, that's an interesting story. Hi, I'm a woman, and I'm here to get my hoo-ha examined. Could you do that for me, please? Because I am a woman. Yes, I see that you clearly are indeed a woman. Have you ever thought about losing weight? Well, I never. Is that how it goes at the gynecologist's office? You walk in and you're like, well, I am a woman, so please look at my innards. I clearly don't know what the hell is going on. Just ignore everything that I just said, okay? Let's just pretend that none of that happened.
Because the last time they tested, my cholesterol was slightly high.
Oh, fat shamed on the cholesterol count, what?
And this was literally like she walked in, introduced herself, and said, do you have a weight management plan?
I like the straightforwardness of that. You know, she's like, whatever your other problems are, it's a moot point because you need to deal with this problem first. You go in there with a gunshot wound and they're like, yeah, that sucks and everything, but have you ever considered losing weight? You're like, but I'm bleeding to death right now. And they're like, yeah, Weight Watchers really isn't that expensive anymore.
Mind you, I'm prepared for a pelvic exam, which means I'm sitting on the table with no pants, no underwear, and a thin little paper sheet covering my lap.
Or you stumbled into the wrong doctor's office entirely. You go in there and disrobe and all this stuff. The doctor comes in like, all right, I'm here to help you with your weight loss. Whoa, why aren't you wearing any pants? What are you doing? Reminds me of the time I went for a routine checkup and I accidentally got a prostate exam. I don't want to talk about it.
But this wasn't the worst part. The worst part is when she started asking me about the pain I've been having. And she basically said that because I was describing it as aching and that it was not only during my periods, that the real cause for it was probably a prolapsed uterus because I'm just so fat.
Is that a side effect of being obese? Is a prolapsed uterus? Oh man, that sounds rough.
I did not even know you could have a prolapsed uterus.
I didn't know either, man. I didn't know either. Maybe that's what all those pains I've been having are.
That thought had never ever come into my mind. But basically telling me it's probably not any actual lady problems. You're probably just so fat your uterus isn't where it's supposed to be.
I'm not trying to laugh at your pain. That's just hilarious. Although I bet none of that happened, honestly.
Of course, after asking a bunch more questions that are very sensitive.
They take an MRI or whatever, like, oh my God, you're so overweight that your heart is actually down in your kneecaps. I don't know what happened.
But we're not asked in a very sensitive way, even after I started crying. She did the pelvic exam, and wouldn't you know, my uterus is exactly where it's supposed to be.
Well, that's good. It really sucks when your uterus starts working its way down your leg, Next thing you know, you're walking on the damn thing.
Oh, and my high cholesterol and high blood pressure issues, probably caused by PCOS, which I probably have. Anyway, she referred me to her colleague who is a PCOS specialist and a weight management specialist. However, she is much more sensitive to all of those things and has respected me and listened to me when I told her about my history with disordered eating, and is...
Oh, of course. Of course we've got another person claiming they have that. Let me guess, you have the restrictive EDs, so there's no way in hell you could possibly look after your weight or take care of yourself.
Taking me seriously about all of my PCOS issues. She not once ever alluded to my issues being caused by my weight. And that's exactly what a doctor should be like.
A real doctor actually shouldn't spare your feelings at all. They're not a therapist. They're not there to help you with your feelings. They're there to help you with your physical problems. Imagine you took your car to a mechanic and he doesn't tell you that your brake pads are worn out because he doesn't want to harsh your buzz and make you feel bad about riding the brakes too much. So he's like, I better not tell him. And then next thing you know, you're rear-ending the back of a semi, head cut clean off. All right, I think we're going to find a lot of hyperbole within these, which is a complete exaggeration. Next.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
So this story is a little bit dark for what I normally share on TikTok, but who doesn't love oversharing trauma with strangers on the internet? I know I do.
Me too. Let's go.
When I was 16, I lived with my dad. Bit of background, my dad is very appearance-based, and at the time I was very overweight, and he made it very obvious how much he hated the fact that I was overweight.
Well, at least you got over it and you're not still harping on it now, huh?
When I was 16, my best friend died. I told you it's a really fun story. It was my first experience with grief. I didn't deal with it very well. It wasn't an accidental death, so it was very, very difficult to process. About 3 days after he died, my dad came into my room and he says, right, are you going to eat dinner tonight? And I said, I'm not very hungry, to be honest. And my dad went, I'm glad he died. You needed to miss a few meals.
Oh, I'm assuming that this didn't happen, but if it did happen, your dad, besides being an asshole, is really hilarious. Your dad's all like, listen, I'm really sorry that your friend died and everything, but do any of your other friends, are they on death's door at all? Because you could use about another 30 pounds gone. He starts slowly taking out your friends like a hitman, like a trained professional. He's all like, all right, she's got 10 more pounds to lose. Let's see, let's get rid of this one. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, then she'll be at her target weight. Every time you start gaining a little bit of weight, one of your friends mysteriously disappears. Dad, damn it!
Okay, Dad. Bit extreme, but never mind. I moved out the week after.
I honestly hope that didn't happen. That's a little unhinged. That's a little crazy, man. But I like the cut of your dad's jib. He's a go-getter. You're hired. He's like, but I wasn't applying for the job. Shut up. You're hired. Next.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
A few years ago, I went to lunch with a friend of mine. We'll call her Stephanie. Now, Stephanie is...
Oh, dude, don't ever trust a Stephanie. It's always going down around a girl named Stephanie, isn't it?
petite, and I am not. And when the waiter walked up to give us our menus, he saw me and stopped and looked me up and down and got a little, shit-eating grin on his face.
Just like that, huh? That's the look he had on his face. That's a very confusing look. If my waiter looked at me like this, I don't know what I would do. I'd be like, bro, what are you doing? Are you going to take my order, or are you going to take me out for a drink? What's happening?
So he handed me my menu, and he said, now let me know if you have any questions about the food. I wouldn't want to leave you hungry for too long.
What the frick is that supposed to mean, sir?
And then he walked away, and Stephanie and I were looking at each other like, what did he just say? But he had a really strong accent, so we were like, maybe it was lost in translation, whatever. I'll just forget about it. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, the words might have been lost in translation, but the look on his face, that's universal.
So he comes back to take our order and stops us in the middle of ordering and turns to Stephanie and says, I would recommend you order extra because she's going to eat at least half your meal.
No, he did not say that, dude. I swear to God, there's no way that this happened. Why wouldn't he just encourage you to order more so that you didn't get hungry enough to have to eat off your friend's plate? He's all like, you, thinner person, you need to order more because she's inevitably going to come to your plate and start eating off of it because fat, I mean.
And he's laughing and joking. And then he turns to me and says, and you maybe should just order a whole second meal so that you leave hers alone.
So he did say the thing that I said. I'm not laughing at your pain, man. I'm just laughing at the situation. You know, crazy stuff happens in life, and it can either make you or it can break you, all right? You got to laugh at it, man. You got to laugh at it and mean it, though. You have to laugh at yourself.
And we were looking at each other like, I can't believe this guy is doing this right now. So he walks away, and Stephanie says to me, like, do you want me to go talk to the manager? Because it's obvious what he's doing at this point, and it's not okay. And I was like, in a point in my life where I didn't like confrontation, not the same person anymore. But I was like, nope, this is already humiliating. I don't want to make it any worse than it already is.
Oh, you should have confronted him. Always confront everybody all the time. I love confrontation. Let's go.
Just get through the meal and leave. So we were enjoying our meal and chatting, but he kept coming back to check on us. And he would say things like, hurry up, eat your food before she gets to it. And then,
dude, stop it. This did not happen, my friend. This did not happen. And if it did, he's clearly infatuated with you. He's doing that thing where you like treat somebody like crap because you want them. Clearly. This dude was into you in a big way. No pun intended.
and like lean over to the table next to us and tell them to guard their French fries from me.
Bro, no, he did not. Stop it. He started bringing other tables into the thing. No, none of this happened, madam.
So finally, we're done eating. He comes back to collect the plates, asks Stephanie if she had enough to eat, and then asks me what I'd like for dessert.
Dude, stop. Okay, look at the look on her face right now. See how she's looking to the side? She's got this little smirk on her face. That lets you know that this whole story is completely fabricated. Look at the look on her face. The look on her face is like, yo, were they buying it? That's the look on her face. I can see it.
And I was like, I don't want any dessert. I'm full. And he said, oh, please, you've wanted to eat everything in this restaurant since you walked in.
Dude, this is the most outlandish, ridiculous story that I have ever heard. I will take things that never damn happened for 500, Alex. This never happened. This just keeps getting crazier and crazier. And then a helicopter flew in with a vat of ranch dressing hanging from the bottom and just started pouring it into my mouth. Like, what the bro, stop.
And I think you better have dessert so you don't eat your friend on your way home.
Dude, stop lying. Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? This is so ridiculous. None of this happened.
Yeah.
No, madam. There's no way. Stop.
And Stephanie said, like, whoa, that is enough. And
That's when she said that is enough. Not when he told the other table to start guarding their fries. She didn't say that was enough. It was when he mentioned that there was a helicopter on the way full of ranch dressing, right?
cut her off and I said, you know what, can we just have the check, please? We paid the bill and we did not leave a tip, and we were scheduled to meet a friend for shopping outside the restaurant after. So Stephanie told me, you know what, go ahead and meet her. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Now, I'm pretty sure Stephanie did not use the bathroom because she was a good friend. She went and told this guy off.
She went and got that waiter's number. I told you, dude, don't ever trust a Stephanie.
But in the meantime, I went to meet our friend, and I walked up to her and I said, you're never gonna believe what just happened at this restaurant.
And she's like, yeah, I know I'm not gonna believe it because you're always making up these crazy stories that never happened. What was it this time? Did he offer to bring in a helicopter full of ranch dressing again?
I told her the whole story about the guy, and I was still very upset. And she looked at me like, and she said, oh, hon, I'm sure you're just taking it the wrong way. I'm sure that's not what he meant. You're probably just taking it a little personally, because I know things like that really get to you, but nobody means that. And I was like,
translation, your friend has heard these nonsense stories before and knows that you're talking out of your neck. She's like, you sure you're not exaggerating? You sure he really told the other table to hide their French fries so that you wouldn't eat them? I'm sure this man continued to be employed at a restaurant for more than 5 minutes, right? He just says whatever the hell comes to his mind as soon as people walk in the door.
he told me I was going to eat Stephanie. And she was like,
Yeah, see, no, this is insane. He said you were going to eat your friend. He said you're going to eat your friend's food. He said, you sure you don't want dessert? He's like, are you sure you don't want a second helping? He's like, you better not eat those people's fries. Like, dude, he did not say this plethora of ridiculous things to you. I would wager he didn't say one thing to you. Maybe he looked at you strangely. Like in the beginning, you said he had that shit-eating grin on his face, and that's literally all that happened. You fabricated every other thing that happened in this story.
I'm sure that's not what he meant.
She should have said, I'm sure that's not what happened. You're making up stories again.
So Stephanie comes along and says, did Gloria tell you about the guy who was fat-shaming her in the restaurant? I've never seen anything like it. It was horrible. And our friend says, oh my God, I can't believe that. I can't believe somebody would do that.
Right, so she didn't believe it when you told the story, but then when Stephanie, who was super real and really exists, told her, all of a sudden she believed it. Well, what does that tell you? Does that tell you that you're always talking out of your neck and your friend knows this? They don't take you seriously anymore? Next.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
Hi, I just tried to tell my story, and TikTok took it down for violent extremism.
Whoa, 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 what did you do? What are you talking about here? What kind of violent extremism are you engaging in, madam? Somebody looked at you a little funny and you started dropping elbows?
What's violent is what happened to me, and I'd like to tell my story again in a way that won't get me banned.
Was it violent or was it just words?
So basically, McDonald's was running a promotional thing. I like to save money, so I'm like, I'm gonna head down to McDonald's.
You like to save money, so you're gonna go out to eat. Okay. Well, we've been over this before. You actually save a lot more money cooking at home. Plus, it's actually food.
I get there, notice immediately that the drive-thru is filled up completely, all the way. So I'm mad because then I have to walk inside, right? And
You're mad because the drive-thru is full and you have to get out of your car and walk inside. Who are you mad at? Just the world? Are you mad at the establishment? Are you going to take it out on the employee who works there, who is just doing their job? Of course the drive-thru is full. There's a lot of people that are hungry eating at McDonald's at this particular time. I hope you're not going to take it out on the employee.
I don't want to walk. So I go inside and politely to the woman I say, hey, would like a McRib meal, large size with a Dr. Pepper. And she says to me,
Get out. You're too large to be in here. We've never seen a large person before because this is a McDonald's, right? If there's one place you're never going to get fat shamed at, dude, it's at a McDonald's. You might get shamed as a skinny person going there. They're going to be like, what are you doing eating here? You're not even fat. You better leave now. Leave while there's still time, my good sir, before this place captures another victim.
okay, that'll be $6.58. So I stand there a second and I say, ain't you forgetting something, ma'am? And she says to me, while looking me up and down.
Right. First of all, what is she forgetting? You went up and you asked for a McRib meal or whatever?
Okay, head to toe.
Right, that happens so often in society where somebody takes the time to look you up head to toe. That takes like a good couple seconds, dude, and it's super obvious.
Well, it don't look like you need an extra McRib.
What? Did I miss something in the story? An extra McRib? I didn't hear the part where you ordered an extra McRib. Let's go back.
Hey, would like a McRib meal, large size with a Dr. Pepper.
Okay, a McRib meal, large size with a Dr. Pepper, you said. And then you stand there, she looks at you, and you're like, aren't you forgetting something? And then she says, you don't need an extra McRib. Okay, but in the beginning of your story, you never asked for an extra McRib. We just listened to it. You just asked for a McRib meal with a Dr. Pepper. Okay, so you ordered a meal.
And she says to me, okay, that'll be $6.58. So I stand there a second and I say, ain't you forgetting something, ma'am?
Wait, does it come with an extra McRib or some crap? Did I miss that part in the beginning? Either way, I'm not going all the way back to the beginning. I'm going to assume you ordered a McRib meal, and then you stood there looking at her like, aren't you forgetting something? And then she's like, what the hell do you want? Leave.
And she says to me, while looking me up and down, okay, head to toe.
Okay, think of the next line. Fabricate the next line.
Well, it don't look like you need an extra McRib.
Dude, this never happened. Dude, this never happened. But if it did, I wouldn't be surprised. People working at McDonald's tend to not really give a crap because they're working at McDonald's, I mean, you can't really expect them to go above and beyond or really give a crap. If anybody's going to give you the business, it's going to be somebody working a minimum wage job or a job that gets no respect like McDonald's because they don't really have anything to lose. Although I still doubt that this happened.
And at this point, my blood started to boil.
Oh, I know the feeling, man. Was she over there existing? And then you started getting mad about it? Because that happens to me all the time.
Right? Because this person, Charlene, is not in charge of what I'm eating. And I say to her, "Excuse me?"
You said, "Excuse me." All right, man, you won. Give this chick the trophy. You just won the internet. All right, we're done. All right, that's a good note to end this thing on. All right, have a good one. Nah, I'm just kidding. Let's keep going. "Mixcuse me," she said. What? Stop. Dude, how long did it take you to come up with this "mixcuse me" thing? I guarantee you did not say that at the heat of the moment. Like 2 hours later, you're sitting in your car and you're like, "Mixcuse me, damn it. That's what I should have said."
And then I add a word that's not nice to call women, but I said it because I was angry.
Did you call her the C word? I've learned that I can't really say that on YouTube.
And then the next thing I know, she's on the ground. I don't know how she got there.
What? Whoa, 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 what? Hold on, I gotta rewind. What happened?
And then I add a word that's not nice to call women, but I said it because I was angry.
Okay, so you called her either the C word or the B word. Okay.
And then the next thing I know, she's on the ground.
What? What? What do you mean the next thing you know she's on the ground? We went from A to Z right there, okay? We missed between B and Y. We missed a whole novel worth of things that happened between you calling her a word and her being on the ground. Would you start throwing elbows on her? Give her a couple knees to the ribcage? What are we doing?
I don't know how she got there.
Oh, and then she winked at us. Oh my goodness. Don't you love people that tell stories that aren't even somewhat believable? Yeah, and then next thing you know, the guy's lying on the ground. He won't be ever saying that again. You know how it is, right, guys? Right, Fred. Yeah, this clearly happened. Which is why you're not in jail right now, right, buddy? Now you know with 100% certainty that nothing in this story happened at all.
But she was on the ground.
Right. So you go around making up these little fantasy stories where you're kicking people's asses and stuff for not giving you an extra McRib, which is, you know, there's nothing unhinged or completely insane about that, let's be real. The guy said, "I don't think you're entitled to another burger." Next thing you know, he's bleeding out of his ears. I don't know what happened. But let's just say, he learned his lesson. Like, dude, Mark, shut up, Mark. That never happened. Go drink some more.
So if you happen to go to the McDonald's on Dorset, tell Charlene that I said hi.
Actually, I'm going to call the police because you assaulted somebody, okay? And now you're online bragging about it. That's called dry snitching, when you go online to brag about your crimes, but you're really just giving a taped confession that the police can easily use. Luckily, though, none of this ever happened. I guarantee you there's not even a Charlene down there.
And then I'm doing well, okay?
So they didn't arrest you, they didn't come talk to you, nothing, huh? You just assaulted some lady in broad daylight in the middle of a McDonald's over a McRib, and nothing happened. Oh, I know, that's the society we live in, right?
Because I will not go into a McDonald's and have my civil rights violated.
Your civil rights? Ah, well, shit, Rosa Parks, I'm glad you came to the front of the bus. You're a real inspiration.
I love McDonald's. All the other ones, the Dorset one, I won't go to.
I love how she ends it by being like, "I love McDonald's. No hard feelings, McDonald's. Don't ban me or anything. I gotta get that McRib, baby."
But that's my truth.
But that's your truth. Well, I didn't believe you until you zoomed in on your face at the end there. I mean, you can only do that when you're telling the truth. Everybody knows that. That's the rule. Next.
Tell me the wildest way you have ever been fat shamed.
So I saw this and saw people responding, and
Did you saw it or you saw it?
I thought, I've seen these before, and I can finally respond with some confidence and sadness at this story. Now, I have been plus size and thick and fluffy my entire life, and I
Plus sized, thick, and fluffy. Okay, you're a triple threat. All right.
grew up in a small town, and being fat and all the different stuff, you know, people make fun of you. And I'm used to my classmates, the boys, older kids, you know, complete strangers putting me down. But my own mother, my own obese Overeaters Anonymous chapter leader mother,
Well, if she's also overweight, then she's allowed to say the F word, which is fat, right?
will take the cake on this one.
Take the cake.
So this was back in 2011. I had just gotten divorced. I was feeling really good about myself. I was starting to date. I had a really great place for my son and I, and education, everything was going so well. I had a great job and everything. And I was starting to go out more and do stuff. And I had just bought my first pair of like leggings. So I
All right, man. Get to it, please.
had like the tunic and the leggings with the flats. Very, very 2011.
All right, what kind of shoes were you wearing? Is there any other stuff that you need to include in this, okay? What color eyeliner? What was the moon looking like that night?
And I felt so confident in that outfit. And I had just gotten home from a first date that had gone wonderful. I actually ended up marrying that man.
All right, enough side stories, man. Get to the damn point.
And as I came in the door, because my mom had babysat, her grandson for me, and I'm regaling her with just how happy I was and how fun it was to be going out and doing things. And I'm
All right, will you regale us with the part where the thing happened?
27 and I'm living it up. My own mother dead ass looks at me and says, "You know what? I'm just in awe of you. I'm just in awe of you. A woman of your size normally would find the darkest part of the bar and just be a wallflower and just be hidden from people because she'd be so ashamed of her size. But not you, daughter. Not you."
Oh, man. This is a messed up story, man. Your mom is messed up. What the heck? This is like some flowers in the attic type of crap. You guys seen that one?
You walk
Wire hangers. Wire hangers in this house?
into the room and you just don't care and you just steal all the light and focus. I'm just in awe of you.
She said you steal all the light and focus. That part is good. She's like, yo, it doesn't matter that you're overweight or whatever. Everybody's still paying attention to you and likes you and all this type of stuff, I guess. Like a backhanded compliment.
And in her up mind, she thinks this is somehow complimenting me.
Yeah, it's some kind of compliment. I mean, it's also, sticking it to you in a heavy way. Let's be real, but, it's some kind of compliment.
My own mother can't even stand to look at her daughter, who is happy, content, a good mother, has a good life. She can't be happy for me because I'm happy with the skin I'm in. She has to say stuff like that, and she's been saying it my entire life. Well, binge eating and having her own problems, she has to tear me down.
Yeah, well, maybe it made her feel like a big man. Sometimes you got to do something that makes you feel like a big man. You got to shit on somebody else a little bit,
So out of all the people that's called me fat or shamed me or anything else, my mother has been the one that has fat shamed me and hurt me the most. And that is on childhood trauma and why we go to therapy.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Moms are like that, They're always a little bit deranged. They want to help you, but it comes across in a horrific way sometimes. Well, that's just family in general. A lot of the times they try to compliment you, but it's actually an insult. They're like, Jimmy, you're looking good. Unlike last time when I saw you laying in a ditch as a loser alcoholic throwing his life down the tubes. But you look good. You look real good. And you're just like, okay, why'd you have to bring up all that other crap? So those were just a few short samplings of fat-shaming stories. I might make it into a new series because there's a whole bunch of people who have stitched with the original creator. This might be even better than Ticked Off Thins Tuesdays. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.